Howdy YouTube. Video request from, I think his name's Jeff. Sent me an email asking, am I gonna make any alterations to the van before hitting the road? There's really only one thing, well, two things I've been thinking about doing. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do them yet. I am definitely probably gonna do them both at some point. But really, honestly, I'm making sure I'm gonna have a job to go back to after this trip out west to see if I'm gonna get this, because it's a difference of over $1,000. If I still have a job when I come back, then it's all great, and then I'll get a whole nother pay period, and then I'll get paid for my remaining vacation time, which will be like another pay period. But I'll only get one of those if I come back and they're like, you know what, we don't need your 2 weeks, which at that point it'll be 2 weeks. So the two things are, one is to get an isolator and set all that up with charging from the alternator while I drive my house battery. And the other item is tow hitch. I don't have a tow hitch on my van, and I want to get one on the front and the rear. You know, if I tow someday, then also having one on the front in case I'm towing and still want to haul a bicycle or motorcycle or scooter or something on the front. And also just in case I get stuck and need to get pulled out. Bob Wells has talked on his videos about how Expresses, and he's got either an Express or a Sierra himself, and he was talking about how you really got to have a hitch to be able to get pulled out, because there's really no good place to hook on vans. At least I think it was him who did that video. So that's cheap though. I think it's like $400 to get hitches added, and the isolator thing shouldn't be difficult. I don't think I need that much in the way of parts. So realistically, I should be able to get both done. It may just come down to an issue of time, but I should be able to get both those knocked out before I go. And if not, I'll just get them done somewhere else, because really the hitches, if I wait until I get to Texas or Louisiana or somewhere, I can probably get those put on a lot less. So that's it for that. Aside from that, the van's all tip-top, ready to go. I will get it looked over one more time by a mechanic before hitting the road. I had an oil change recently, so I'm not going to do that right before I go. I am going to dump the transmission fluid, get that changed, and just have it looked over. And then I'll be on the road, guys. And while we're talking about van modifications, I did have one other question about spray foam in the ribs inside the van since they're exposed, because that can basically be a weak point with the insulation. But I don't really have much insulation at all to speak of. There is just a little bit of have a Reflectix type material I put in there, and then the wood paneling, it's under the wood paneling, so there's a tiny bit of insulation. I'm really not worried about the ribs. The one thing that it does do is create a place where bugs can kind of make a nest. I've had a little bit of an issue in here with bugs. It's been coming back a little bit as it's warmed up, and I'll show you guys soon what I'm going to do for that. That's another thing I'm hoping to get done before I go on this trip out west, is to get this plan underway that I have for the bugs. You guys will enjoy it, and as far as my channel goes, it won't surprise you too awfully much, but you've probably never seen anybody do what I'm going to do. So I'll leave that hanging as a little bit of a surprise or teaser.